Welcome back to Billionaire Success Lessons. Today, we are diving into the story of a man who did not build his fortune with loud speeches, flashy publicity, or a larger-than-life public image. He built it through quiet thinking, sharp observation, relentless product focus, and an unusual ability to see where the internet was going before most people around him could see it. This is the story of Zhang Yiming, the founder of ByteDance, the company behind Douyin and TikTok, and as of 2026, one of the most powerful and wealthy entrepreneurs in China. But what makes his journey so powerful is not just the billions. It is the path. It is the patience. It is the way a thoughtful, introverted engineer turned a simple idea about information into a global empire. Zhang Yiming was born in 1983 in Fujian, in southeastern China. He later studied software engineering at Nankai University, and those early years matter because they help explain the kind of entrepreneur he would become. He was not famous. He was not a charismatic celebrity founder. He was the kind of person who looked closely at systems, patterns, and problems. While many people are drawn to attention, Zhang seemed drawn to structure. He paid attention to how information moved, how products shaped behavior, and how technology could solve problems that most people simply accepted as normal. Long before he was rich, he was already training himself to think differently. After graduation, Zhang worked at several technology companies, including a brief stint at Microsoft. That detail may sound small, but it helps us understand something important. He was not born at the top. He entered the workforce like many ambitious young people do, learning inside companies that already existed, observing what worked and what did not. He saw how technology businesses operated from the inside. He learned from startup environments. He learned from larger corporate structures. And somewhere in that process, he began to see that the future of the internet would not be defined only by search boxes, web portals, or traditional media. It would be shaped by recommendation, personalization, and the ability of software to understand what people wanted before they could even fully describe it themselves. That idea became the seed of everything. In his 2021 letter to employees, Zhang said that before starting ByteDance, he spent a great deal of time thinking about how information could be distributed more effectively, how technology could improve products, and how a company itself could be built through constant reevaluation and iteration. Almost like a product. That is a revealing insight. Many entrepreneurs start by chasing money. Others chase status. Zhang was chasing a problem. He was asking a deeper question. In a world flooded with information, how do you help the right content find the right person at the right moment? That question sounds simple now, but at the time it was a powerful, strategic insight. In 2012, Zhang Yiming and Liang Rubo founded ByteDance in a 4-bedroom apartment in Beijing. The company launched Toutiao that same year, and the idea behind it was bold. Instead of making people search for content in the old way, ByteDance built a product that used machine learning to recommend content to each user. This was not just a technical choice. It was a worldview. Zhang believed that the future belonged to platforms that could understand attention, preference, and behavior at scale. He saw the mobile internet not simply as a smaller version of the desktop web, but as a completely different environment, one that required different products and different logic. But ideas always sound cleaner in hindsight than they feel in real time. At the beginning, there was no guarantee this vision would win. Building a company in the shadow of established giants is never easy. Competing for talent is hard. Convincing investors is hard. Building trust in a new model is hard. And creating a recommendation engine that people actually want to spend time with is harder than it looks. Zhang was not stepping into an empty space. He was stepping into a crowded, fast-moving internet market, and he was betting that better product design and better algorithms could outperform old habits. That takes more than intelligence. It takes conviction under uncertainty. Totia became ByteDance's first breakout success. Reuters described it as a news aggregation app that used machine learning to deliver a personalized feed to each user. And ByteDance's own history page lists it as one of the company's flagship products from 2012. What matters here is not just that the app worked. What matters is what it proved. It proved that Zhang's instincts were right. People did not necessarily want to do all the work of finding content themselves. They wanted products that felt smart, personal, and immediate. They wanted relevance. They wanted speed. They wanted a feed that seemed to understand them. And once Zhang saw that model work, he was not building just one app anymore. He was building a new playbook for the attention economy. This is where one of the biggest lessons in Zhang Yiming's journey begins to emerge. Great entrepreneurs are not always the loudest people in the room. Often, they're the ones who notice a shift before everyone else does. They see behavior changing. They see old systems becoming inefficient. They see hidden frustration in the user experience. Zhang noticed that the mobile internet was not just changing how people consumed information. It was changing what they expected from technology itself. People wanted discovery to feel frictionless. They wanted content to come to them. And he understood that if you could build that well enough, you would not just create an app. You would change daily behavior on a massive scale. Then came another major leap. In 2016, ByteDance launched Douyin in China. A year later, it launched TikTok outside mainland China, accelerating its push into the global market. This is one of the most extraordinary parts of Zhang Yiming's story. Many founders build strong companies at home and only later think about the world. Zhang and ByteDance moved with a much broader vision. ByteDance's own history says the company accelerated globalization with TikTok about a year. After launching Douyin, that decision changed everything. It meant Zhang was not content with building a successful Chinese internet company. He was aiming to build a product ecosystem that could travel across cultures. That global ambition was not a small gamble. Global expansion is never just a bigger version of local success. It comes with cultural risk, execution risk, and enormous pressure. A product that works in one country may fail in another. User behavior is different. Competitive landscapes are different. Regulatory environments are different. But Zhang kept pushing. And then came a move that gave TikTok even more momentum. ByteDance acquired Musical.ly in November 2017 and later merged it with TikTok in 2018. With that move, ByteDance did not just launch a global short video app. It strengthened its position in one of the fastest moving social media categories in the world. Success on that scale creates a powerful illusion from the outside. It can make people think the path was obvious, that the founder simply had a brilliant idea and everything took off. But that is never the full story. Behind global products are relentless decisions, difficult trade-offs, hiring, and the emotional burden of leadership. Zhang Yiming was building one of the world's most influential technology companies, while navigating competition, public scrutiny, internal speed and growth. ByteDance's rise was not a calm climb. It was a test of whether vision could survive pressure. And in business, pressure reveals everything. It reveals whether your systems are real, whether your culture is durable, and whether your founder can keep thinking clearly when the stakes become global. One of the most fascinating parts of Zhang's journey is that he never fit the stereotype of the loud, dominant executive. In Reuters reporting on his 2021 transition, Zhang said he lacked the social skills to be an ideal manager, and described himself as someone more interested in analyzing organizational and market principles than in the daily act of managing people. He even said, in a phrase that became widely quoted, that he was not very social, that honesty is rare. Most powerful people try to sound bigger than life. Zhang did the opposite. He admitted the limits of his own personality and recognized that leadership at scale sometimes requires a different kind of operator. That is not weakness. That is and self-awareness is one of the most underrated strengths in business. In 2021, Zhang announced that he would step down as CEO and shift toward longer-term initiatives, focusing on strategy, corporate culture, and social responsibility. In his own letter, he explained that stepping away from day-to-day CEO responsibilities would allow him to make a greater impact on long-term breakthrough. Think about how rare that is. Many people spend their entire lives trying to gain power and then hold on to it for as long as possible. Zhang built one of the world's most influential private technology companies and then chose to reshape his role because he believes that was the best way to help the company evolve. That decision says a great deal about the way he thinks. He was not chasing the title. He was chasing the outcome. And that may be one of the deepest lessons in his story. Success is not only about getting to the top. It is also about knowing what kind of contribution you are best designed to make once you get there. Some people are builders, some are operators, some are visionaries, some are diplomats. The wisest leaders do not confuse these roles. Zhang understood that his strengths were deep thinking, product intuition, learning, and long-range vision, rather than pretending to be a perfect all-around executive. He chose to lean into the kind of value he could create best. In a world obsessed with image, that is a remarkably grounded choice. Of course, Zhang Yiming's rise was not untouched by controversy or external pressure. As ByteDance grew into a global powerhouse, it also drew the attention of regulators and governments, especially around TikTok. Reuters described the 2024 U.S. divest or ban legislation as the greatest threat TikTok had faced since the Trump administration. And its reporting also noted that ByteDance had become known for powerful recommendation algorithms and rapid product expansion. That is the price of scale in the modern era. The bigger your platform becomes, the more scrutiny follows, the more influence you have, the more pressure you attract. It is easy to admire success when it looks glamorous. It is harder to understand the weight that comes with it. Zhang's journey includes not just the excitement of creation, but the burden of leading under global suspicion and political tension. Yet even that pressure reinforces the central truth of his story. Zhang Yiming did not stumble into relevance. He built products that mattered so much to so many people that governments and markets could no longer ignore them. ByteDance's own corporate history now, it spans far beyond one or two apps. And the company says it has more than 150,000 employees in nearly 120 cities worldwide, with products including TikTok, CapCut, TikTok, Shop, Lark, Pico, Totio, Douyin, and others. That scale did not come from one lucky decision. It came from years of product discipline, system building, and strategic imagination. And by 2026, Forbes reported Zhang Yiming as the richest person in China. That kind of ranking is dramatic, but it should not distract us from the real story. Wealth is the result. The deeper story is how he got there. He got there by seeing where user behavior was moving. He got there by trusting the power of algorithms before much of the world fully grasped their cultural influence. He got there by building for the mobile era, then the video era, then the global era. And perhaps most importantly, he got there by staying intellectually honest enough to keep evolving as the company evolved. For anyone listening right now who feels quiet, overlooked, or underestimated, Zhang Yiming's life carries a message that hits hard. You do not have to be the loudest person to change the world. You do not need to look like the stereotype people expect. You do not have to lead like everyone else. Sometimes your edge is precisely the thing that makes you different. Zhang's edge was not performance. It was perception. It was the ability to study systems deeply, to think independently, and to stay focused on the product when others might have been distracted by image or applause. That kind of strength often goes unnoticed in the beginning, but over time it can become unstoppable. His story also reminds us that breakthroughs often begin with irritation. Many great companies are born because someone becomes dissatisfied with the way. Somewhere along the line, Zhang looked at the internet and saw friction. He saw inefficiency in how people found information. He saw limitations in older models. And instead of accepting those limits, he built around them. That is what entrepreneurs do at their best. They do not simply admire the future. They build it. They do not wait for a perfect invitation. They create an opening by solving a problem that other people still underestimate. Another lesson from Zhang Yiming is that scale should never erase clarity. ByteDance expanded from one breakthrough product into a much larger ecosystem. But the company's underlying logic remained rooted in discovery, engagement, relevance, and intelligent distribution. Great builders know how to grow without losing their core idea. They know how to expand while keeping the center strong. Many companies fail because success makes them confused. They get bigger but less clear. Zhang's success came from the opposite direction. The company became bigger because the central idea stayed sharp. And then there is the personal side of the story, which may be the most moving part of all. Zhang did not present himself as invincible. He did not pretend to love every part of executive life. He did not confuse public status with personal truth. He admitted that constant management and social demands could pull him away from the kind of thinking that had made him valuable in the first place. There is something deeply mature about that in life. Many people rise by becoming more performative. Zhang rose by becoming more honest about who he really was. That honesty may have helped save not only his own energy, but the long-term future of the company he built. So when you think about Zhang Yiming, do not think only about TikTok, ByteDance, or the billions. Think about the young engineer who studied systems closely. Think about the early career professional who learned inside other companies. Think about the founder who saw that mobile users wanted personalized discovery. Think about the builder who launched one product, then another, until a global media force existed where once there had only been an idea. Think about the leader who knew when to step back from a title in order to keep serving the mission in the way he believed mattered most. That is why this story belongs on Billionaire Success Lessons. Because it is not just a story about money. It is a story about thinking deeply when the world is noisy. It is a story about building patiently when others want instant recognition. It is a story about trusting your insight long enough to let it become reality. Zhang Yiming's path shows that lasting success often comes from a quiet. It comes from learning what kind of mind you have, what kind of problems you are meant to solve, and what kind of future you are brave enough to imagine before anyone else believes in it. If there is one final lesson to carry from his journey, it may be this: the future rarely belongs to the person who talks about it the most. It often belongs to the person who understands it earliest, builds for it patiently, and stays humble enough to keep adapting as it arrives. Zhang Yiming did exactly that. He did not simply build an app. He helped reshape how people discover information, watch video, and spend attention in the mobile age. And whether one sees his story as inspiring, controversial, or transformational, there is no denying that it changed the world. So if you are in a season where progress feels invisible, remember this story. A quiet mind can still build a giant company. A thoughtful person can still lead a global movement. An introvert can still shape the habits of billions. And a person who starts with questions instead of applause can still end up creating one of the most powerful business empires of his generation. That is the journey of Zhang Yiming. And that is a success lesson worth remembering.